Well, good afternoon. This is Carrie Meldon. We're here at Meldon Law Friends. Me and my friend Jonny Bellotte were speaking before the podcast. Jonny is going to be a great guest in today's episode of Meldon Law and Friends. As always, we are filming the podcast up over here at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, which is located in Gainesville, Florida at Celebration Point. We're in the infamous podcast room. As you can see the helmets behind us. We are representing all of Spurrier's teams that he played for, and it's really kind of a very unique and amazing venue. If you haven't been to Spurrier's before, I tell people it's the Museum of Spurrier, and there's all these really cool trinkets, memorabilia, pictures, stories that you can go through. So not only is the food delicious, but the memorabilia is worth checking out. So without further ado, let's get into our conversation with Jonny Bellotte. Jonny, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
I really appreciate you coming in today from Lake City. Jonny, you're kind of the mayor of Lake City.
I wouldn't say I'm the mayor.
De facto.
We actually have a new mayor.
That's right.
He just got elected. We're very excited about him. I think he's going to make some good choices for us in Lake City.
And you've been in Lake City for almost your entire life, right?
Almost my entire life. I wasn't born there, but I like to think that I'm local for sure.
Well, we were talking before the podcast, and I guess you were there when you were 5 years old. Is that right?
Yes.
And then did you grow up in Lake City somewhat?
I grew up there, went to high school there, graduated there. I own a business there. I own properties there. I live in Lake City. I'm local Lake City.
So when you were growing up in Lake City, I'm trying to do the math. I think the high school football team was pretty dang good, right?
They were pretty good my junior, senior year.
And they would feed a lot of players to FSU from what I can recall.
A lot of them.
Yeah, we got some. Now we got some good
Renard
players.
Wilson went to FSU there.
That's right.
He went into the NFL. I went to school with him.
Yeah, that's correct.
He was a year younger than me, I think.
Well, we've got a linebacker now from Lake City called his name is Jaden Robinson. So the Gators are still picking a few players here and there from Lake City, which is growing tremendously. It's like night and day probably from when you were going to school versus how it's like today.
It really is, and we have a lot of exciting developments coming. We're building a lot of new homes. There's not many homes to choose from at this point because it's grown so much. We're just bursting at the seams in Lake City, but it's a positive thing.
That's a great thing.
Yeah.
And if you haven't been to Lake City recently, it really will surprise you. It has basically everything that Gainesville or Ocala has, all the restaurants, all the retail stores. In fact, they've got some better places than Gainesville and Ocala. And
Yeah, I heard
kind
it's
of on the
called
come
Two
up.
Fat Guys Burgers and Fries.
Well, that's what we're going to get to right now is the Two Fat Guys Burgers and Fries. So this is Jonny's spot, his restaurant. And you've been open for about 10 years, right?
The concept's been open for 10 years. We've been in a different couple of spots, but the location we're in now, we've been there for 5 years now, and it's been very successful and exciting.
So what do you get there? Let me guess. Burgers and fries?
Burgers and fries. I've always thought that you just do something good and just stick to that. You don't have to have a whole lot on the menu. We customize every burger for every person. We cut every tomato by hand.
Oh, wow.
We don't use any slicers for anything. Everything is bought locally. Pick out every produce.
The ground beef?
That comes never frozen.
Wow.
It's a mixture of a 73-27 mix. It's a little fattier, but that's
what makes it good. Yes.
Yeah. It's not called Two Fat Guys for nothing.
Was that the first restaurant that you'd ever owned and operated?
No, it's not actually. I used to own a pizza place franchise called Vocelli Pizza.
Okay.
In Georgetown, South Carolina.
Really? How'd that come about?
I would spend a lot of time in the pizza business. I worked for Domino's for many, many years.
Okay.
Then I went into the franchise for Vocelli Pizza, and that was in 2008. And don't want to bring up a bad subject, but that was not such a great year for entrepreneurs.
No, it was not.
It was a rough situation.
It was a rough situation for sure. The Domino's is interesting because actually one of the owners of Spurrier's, Freddie Wiebe, was the franchise owner of Domino's here in Gainesville.
Oh, okay.
And he was the number one producer, franchisee when he was doing it like in the 2000s.
Right.
He was telling me a little bit about the culture in Domino's.
The culture in Domino's Pizza really has impacted my whole life.
Absolutely.
It made me be successful.
That's what he said too.
Yes,
And now he's Spurrier's private agent, and he's
Right.
our marketing director. So he learned a lot from the Domino's culture.
All they do is train, and they just make sure you're the best you can be.
That's great.
You can't even own a Domino's unless you've ran one successful.
Well, that's what he was saying,
Right.
and a lot of those lessons I'm sure you use in your current business in terms
Yes,
of
always be hands-on. Don't ask anybody to do anything you're not willing to do yourself. Yeah.
And now, are you able to do everything? Because I know at my firm, I can't do everything. I mean, but you could do everything, huh? You can make the burgers, you
I
can
can make
run
it
the
all.
register.
Matter of fact, I cook 3 to 4 days a week still, and
That's
want
awesome.
to just keep my pulse on the, keep my finger on the pulse.
That's great.
Of the restaurant and the industry in Lake City, and it's important for people to see the owner
Mm-hmm.
at their restaurants, especially locally owned businesses. Yes.
Johnny, where are you located? Where's the Two Fat Guys and Fries located?
We're on Bay Avenue, right in front of Winn-Dixie, just kind of to the left of it. It's 135 Southwest Bay Avenue, Lake
Okay.
City, Florida, 32025. Might as well give the whole address.
Zoom it, Google it, Waze it,
Google
whatever
it.
you want to do.
We got some good reviews. Ignore the bad reviews. They're irrelevant.
Yes.
It didn't really even happen.
Exactly. Now, what are your hours? I'm looking right now. I don't know if I have the hours for Two Fat
Yeah,
Guys.
our
Burgers
hours
and
are
Fries.
from 10 a.m., which not a lot of people come at that early.
Sure.
But, and then we close at 9 p.m., and that's Monday through Sunday.
So it's lunch and dinner.
It's lunch and dinner. A lot of lunch, a little bit of a dinner.
Okay, so lunch is really the busy. Now,
very busy.
And what's the most popular order?
Well, the most popular order is obviously a cheeseburger and a regular fry. And, we use Coke as our products. We like Coke.
I like Coke too. Yeah.
And we have chicken tenders and salads.
Okay.
We have the VA hospital that's right around the corner. And
Sure.
They love having salads and chicken tenders for the kids. And we also feature 10 different flavors of fries, which is kind of different.
That's awesome. Like, I remember there was a Boardwalk Fries in the mall when I was growing
Right.
up, and they had all the flavors.
I
Is
remember that,
it something
actually.
like that, or
Yeah, it's more of like you have all these different flavors of chips. It's like, why wouldn't you have that in
Yeah.
fries also? That's kind
Agree.
of the route that I went with.
they're both potatoes, right?
They're all potatoes.
So do you guys? What type of fries do y'all serve? Is it curly fries, straight fries?
We just hand cut our own fries.
Okay.
We wash them 4 times, and then we blanch them, cool them down, and then we cook them to order for. We put a lot of effort into our fries. Yeah, especially with having 10 different flavors.
I can
which
tell you, you got to have a good fry.
You got to have a good fry.
That's the one major complaint from
We
I hear out
hand cut
west.
all those too. Like their arms get tired.
They're good. Yeah, what's the In-N-Out burgers? Apparently they have terrible fries. They have good burgers. So,
Their
yeah.
fries are very good, but their burgers are very good, but the fries are like really skinny.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
super
You-
skinny.
so
You have
you
to
know-
eat 8 of them.
So you've
to
done
one
your
of those. Yes.
your research and development.
I've been there, yes.
Okay. So we talked a little bit before the podcast about you being a Dolphins fan.
Yes, I love the Dolphins. It's tough, but yes, I love the Dolphins.
Was
I
it
love the Raiders.
Dan Marino? Because you were probably that
Dan
era.
Marino, that was when I was in Florida. There was 2 teams to pick from. It was
Yep.
the Tampa Bay
That's right.
Buccaneers and the Miami Dolphins, and Dan Marino was the man at the time.
Still is the man.
He is the man.
The quickest release in
He's
NFL history.
Yeah, he's got to be in the argument for sure.
Yeah, and he was. I think he was drafted in '83. So
I believe so because he went to the Super Bowl in '84.
That's right.
And lost to the San Francisco 49ers, Joe Montana.
It's funny. A few years past, they opened a Shula's here in Gainesville,
Right, I've been to it.
and Don Shula came to the opening. So
Oh, I
I
didn't
got
know that.
I got
I
to
didn't
meet
see
Don, and I got a picture with him before he passed away.
Congratulations, I'm jealous now.
Yeah, well,
I don't get jealous about anything, but
He-
that
he's an incredible
I'm sure he
person,
is.
and he was older, obviously.
Right.
This is a few years ago, and he's passed away since then. But he gave a really nice speech, and more importantly, most people who are younger may not know that he was the last undefeated NFL coach. I think he might have been the only one. The only one, yeah.
The only 1972 team. We won Super Bowl in 72 and 73.
Mm-hmm.
And haven't won since.
Well, the refs were trying to get the Chiefs an undefeated season, but
they
couldn't do
are
it.
going to get them in there for sure. I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure Allen made that first down.
Yeah,
I'm not a referee, so I can't attest to that.
Well, we're on the subject. You might as well ask. Who do you got for the Eagles versus the Chiefs?
Well, I'm gonna have to pick the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Since the refs are on their team.
I don't disagree with you. Although the Eagles
Very controversial.
the Eagles look dang good.
They do. I don't know that anybody can beat them right now,
Yeah.
even with their center being hurt. They have a replacement center in there, and he's hurt.
Oh, really?
And
Yeah.
they still put up 55 points.
Well, Saquon Barkley was.
He's incredible.
Yeah, I mean the Giants got to be kicking themselves.
That was a bad trade.
That was a bad trade. And their quarterback. Well, we'll let them deal with that.
The Giants have enough problems.
They have got enough problems already. So, other than doing, obviously you're running your business, and you've got, you're quite the entrepreneur. I think you're probably a little humble here, but you got some other stuff that you're dealing with as well, right?
Well, you don't want to give all the recipes out.
There you go. But
yeah, I have some rental homes and do a little bit in construction and really into getting into real estate more these days. And trying to get with all the development that's coming to Lake City.
And where is that development mainly happening? Is it all around? Is there particular parts of Lake City that are becoming more desirable?
Well, the commercial market's pretty much tied up. We don't really have too much there.
Mm-hmm.
Even warehouse space is very, very low to get. You can't really find anything there. Like I said, we're really bursting at the seams. They're developing some more what do you call it? Neighborhoods?
Yeah.
Out on the west side of town.
Gotcha.
A big national chain, can't say who they are, is developing that. They broke ground already.
Is it for retirees or is it for
It's just
all
for
ages?
single family homes.
Gotcha.
We just don't have them.
Right.
They're not for sale. There's hardly anything for rent. All my rentals stay rented.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have enough space for the people that want to move to Lake City, which is great.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good insulated economy. So
you're a growth-minded individual. A lot of people say they don't want change, right? But if you got to either embrace
change
it.
is constant.
Yeah, well, it's happening. Either you embrace it or you fight against
Absolutely.
it. And so, what I always tell people is that you're going to have change that happens in your life. You're going to have things that may happen that can cause you some instant pain, but generally speaking, change is what makes life interesting.
Exactly.
And
that pain is what develops you into who you are.
Correct. Right. You don't learn from your wins as much as your losses.
Yeah, you don't win. I mean, you don't learn very much from your wins at all. It's always the losses.
Always the
and
losses.
What do you do next, and how do you prepare yourself for the next opportunity and being prepared for the next opportunity in your life?
Yeah. And in Lake City right now, this is a situation that obviously there's it's a conservative community. So I can see a lot of them pushing back against some of this change, but it's coming, and so I would hope there's a lot of business-minded, capitalists and individuals who are saying this is a great opportunity for us.
There's a lot of opportunity in Lake City.
So tell me a little. Are you going to open a second restaurant, or what is there anything that you can reveal to the audience out there that may be coming down the road?
Well, we are looking at a couple different places. It's difficult because I want to use my time wisely.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing in my life.
Right.
Is my time.
Yeah.
And how I use it. So if the right opportunity comes along, I just want to be prepared for it, and that's all I can really say.
Yeah.
I'm working.
Yeah.
I'm out here working just like everybody else. I got a job. I'm bragging about it. I got a job.
Well, you're on the Meldon Law Friends Podcast, so you can't be doing too bad, right? You're joining some pretty good company out here. So, one of the things that we were talking about as well is, you've got, this entrepreneurial spirit. We talked a little bit about your love of poker, which I would never play poker with you because I got a terrible poker face. You can read it. You read me a mile away when I got a pair of aces. But I always was wondering, this came up recently, and I don't know what the answer is. But if you have, I'm going to ask you a poker question.
All right.
Let's say you're playing Texas Hold'em, which is the audience out there. It's probably the most famous game, right?
It's the most popular, yes.
Because it was the ESPN started showing the World Series of Poker,
right.
and I remember Chris,
the Poker Boom.
Yeah, Chris Moneymaker,
yes,
and all
exactly.
that. So all of us kind of grew up watching that. And, you generally get 2 cards per player, right? And you play off those 2 cards against the pot. So the question, I'm going to put you on the spot here. I'm going to say, if you had a choice between an ace, queen offsuit, or ace jack offsuit, or a king queen suited with a 6-player game, what would you rather have?
I would rather have the king queen suited.
I think you're right. See, he knows what he's talking about.
Ace jack is not a very good hand at all. It gets beat all the time. You're up against ace queen, ace king, or even a pair, and other people are throwing your outs out. So it's not something that you want to play often if it's suited.
Right.
And poker's all about position. So if that hand is about position, I don't really have a favorite poker hand except the winning hand. So
you're not like a queen 9 player or something like that.
So if you're asking me which hand I would rather have, I mean, ace jack, you're really ahead. So yes, you would want to play with the math. Do I like a king queen suited better? Yes, it's prettier to look at.
Well, I think it matters how many people are playing in the hand.
That
if it's
too.
heads up versus, like you said,
it all factors into that.
See, this is why I always ask poker players these questions, because it's a lot of strategy and
it's all the strategy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. It's
right.
very difficult. There's very smart people that you're playing up against.
And it takes patience.
It takes a lot of patience. You got to play for 10 to 12 hours on day ones. Yeah. There's tournaments that go for 3-4 days. They got a good series going on in Jacksonville last week and this week, so I'll be over there tomorrow to play into that.
I heard they have a pretty big poker room over there.
It's the biggest in Florida.
Yeah, bigger than the Tampa one and the Hard Rock. Okay.
The Hard Rock's just a casino.
Right.
Yeah. Best Bet is a card room, and then they have some poker-related card games that you shouldn't play. Don't play those. Just play poker.
Just play poker.
The best part about playing poker to me is if I lose, I'm losing to you. I'm not losing to the house.
Right. I know they'll take a rake, but
they take a small rake. I mean, they're making money. They need to. They're providing dealers.
Yeah.
They're providing the space. They provide a lot of good things.
Well, I never played professional poker or money poker. I've played when I was growing up. We played a game called Guts. And you've ever heard of that game before?
I don't think I've heard of that one.
Oh, it's a terrible game.
Yeah.
It's so scary because you get a group of people. So we had like 5 or 6 friends, right? And we each get 2 cards, and obviously ace is the best hand, and you just play a 2-card poker basically.
Right.
And and then there's the pot gets a hand too. So then you say 1, 2, 3, drop Guts, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't drop your hand, then you're in the hand. Now, if you stay in the hand, if you beat whoever else is in the hand and the pot, then you get whatever's in the pot.
Oh.
However, if the pot beats you or and everyone else in the pot, then you have to match the pot, and then it goes into another hand. So it gets it can
progressive rollover.
It can escalate really quickly and a lot, because then people want to start winning their money back.
Yeah,
so then
of
it
course.
gets. But anyways,
they get behind and trying to catch up.
They get behind, and that's probably one of the lessons, right?
It's another lesson. If you get behind, just leave.
So
easy to say, but it's so hard to do.
I love this. We can talk forever, but before we get off, we've got a couple more minutes. I want to talk a little bit about the restaurant again. So you're open 6 days a week, is that
yes.
right? Okay, so
7 days a week.
7 days a week.
Yeah,
wow.
We close 2 to 3 days a year. Christmas, Thanksgiving, and Easter.
Well, you must treat your staff well.
I hope so. I hope they think so, because I'm there with them. I am the staff too.
I know. So you're leading by example.
I always try to.
And so when it comes to the the location and the hours, I don't know if you want to let the audience know one more time so they can come find you.
Yeah, it's 135 Southwest Bay Drive. We're right across from Winn-Dixie, right around the VA. So if you're taking a trip to the VA and just walk over, or you can order DoorDash. We are on
nice.
Uber Eats also.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How's it, by the way, how's that working for you? The food
DoorDash
delivery
works really well. We just started doing Uber Eats.
Okay.
But DoorDash has been phenomenal because it's sales that you wouldn't have at all.
Right. I'm thinking. I don't know how I don't know how the business model works. If they take a lot out of the
they do
bottom
take
line.
a lot.
Yeah.
They take 25% of our sales.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is not to expose it. Our prices are 22% more.
Right.
On the platform for delivery.
I think people understand that.
Right.
So you're breaking about even.
Yes.
Okay.
The great thing is you can order online through Facebook onto DoorDash, and it don't cost you anything to come pick it up.
Right.
It's the same price. So that's pretty great about their platform. Also.
And it's good that you guys aren't boosting the price if there's no extra.
We don't pad it at all.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not cheap.
Yeah.
But we're not as expensive as our competitors.
But you're not passing the buck to the customer unless the DoorDash.
We're
does
just
it.
barely making it by.
Well, there you go. Well, Jonny,
takes a lot to hand cut everything.
Jonny Bellotte, I'm going to have to come check it out. I don't come to Lake City enough. I want to come out there more because I know it's a great place. I've got some good friends
there, don't you?
We do have an office there. We've got great people up there, and it's a really nice, beautiful spot. They've got, like I said, they've got some of the best restaurants, Johnny's restaurants included. They've got great coffee, Eliano's, of course.
Zappa's. We go to Zappa's every weekend. Give them a shout out.
There you go. They got all of our treaters, and they got basically everything up there in Lake City. And if you want to find a spot that I guess it's still developing and hopefully get in, some new construction, there's some possibilities. It sounds like so. With that being said, I want to thank Jonny again for his attendance here today. Jonny, good luck, man. I'll come see you soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for appearing on Meldon Law Friends.
Absolutely.
All right.
Jeffrey, what are you doing?
Well, I'm joining the band, of course. Since Meldon Law is the official law firm partner of the Florida Gators, I want to help.
Dad, we're litigators. Let's stick to helping people in the courtroom.
Well, can we still hang out and jam a little bit? At Meldon Law, we won't back down.
I was going down a one-way street and a girl that was driving her car T-boned me on my scooter. I ended up going for an MRI and discovering that I had 2 herniated discs. Coming to Cary allowed me to not have to worry about what doctor I was going to see or what physical therapist I had to go to. They say, these are the people we trust. You're going to have a great experience there. And I honestly did each time.
Call Meldon Law. Your consultation is absolutely free.
And I was in an accident. Someone ran a red light and hit me, and I was hurt. You don't know where to turn. Luckily, I called Jeffrey. These big insurance companies, they don't want you to win. They truly don't. But Jeffrey and his firm and the people that work here, they just really fight for you. You call the law offices of Jeffrey Meldon because you're going to need help, and they will help you.
Call Meldon Law right now.
Hey, Sammy, look who's there. Say hi.
Hey!
You again.
Meldon Law, Jeffrey speaking.
Somebody else hit us.
Here we go again.
We are back here for the last segment of Meldon Law and Friends. We're going to do some announcements, upcoming giveaways, and events, as always, for our audience out there. First of all, the Meldon Law practice areas at Meldon Law. We help everyone in North Central Florida community that have been injured as a result of a serious accident or in need of criminal defense representation. Our consultations are completely free, and you can come into our office and meet with us in person. We are local and have offices in Gainesville, Ocala, Lake City, and Williston. We are doing the Meldon Law Charity Stripe campaign this year with the Florida Gators men's and women's basketball teams. We are excited to partner with them this year. We actually are donating $19.71 for every made free throw by the men and women's team to the Ronald McDonald House Charities of North Central Florida that provide comfort, care, and resources to families with sick children, allowing them to stay close together near hospitals where their children are receiving treatment. The donation amount commemorates the year Meldon Law was founded in 1971, and it represents our long-standing tradition of giving back to the community. This will be the third year that we have supported a local organization, and we have been fortunate to donate over $20,000 since starting the free throw charitable event in 2022. We also are going to be involved in the Oak Hall Schools Eagle Fest, January 31st in Gainesville. This is going from 3 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. at the Oak Hall School. The family volunteers are proud to put on Oak Hall's Schools Eagle Fest, which is a one-school fundraiser event held behind the Oxborough Gym on the upper school athletic fields. All proceeds from this event will go directly to Oak Hall School. It's an amazing carnival designed to include fun for Eagles of all ages. Activities include carnival-style games, rides, inflatables, food, face painting, and much more. This year will feature a glow party. Wow. Excuse me. In the Oxborough Gym, LED laser tag, gaming stations, flight simulators, and much more. Bubble soccer and M2 battle sports will be on the athletic field, along with a cast of inflatables. Excuse me. I don't know what's getting into me. Allergy season yet, but we're moving towards it. And so the M2 battle sport will be on the athletic field and much more. Bubble soccer and will be available for all ages. Meal vendors will include Miapa, BTW, and Marco's. The Snack Shack will offer cotton candy, cookies, candy, chips, popcorns, water, soda, and Gatorade. On January 31st, we'll be helping sponsor the Grandview Invitational Casino Night. This sounds really cool. So this is at the Grandview Clydesdale Tours tent, situated right in the in the heart of the Florida Horse Park in Ocala. It's $25 online or $35 at the door, and you can come in. It's no dress code. There's music, drinks, food at your fingertips, and you get to play blackjack, poker, and much more. All proceeds will be directly donated to the Grandview Invitational, contributing to the show's growth for the upcoming year. So that's at the Florida Horse Park, January 31st in Ocala. There's also the Lake City, Columbia County Chamber of Commerce Ball, February 1st. This is from 5:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. at the Florida Gateway Fairgrounds. We will be participating at the annual membership meeting and ball for the Lake City, Columbia County Chamber of Commerce to induct new board members and officers. It will be their premier networking event and celebration, and it's fun-filled night with great food, entertainment, silent auctions, and a cash bar. February 8th, the Health Gala over at from UF. It's at the Villages, and it's titled The Ticket to Paradise in the Villages. It's going to be held at the Brownwood Hotel and Spa, which is located in the Villages, once again, February 8th. And it will be a special evening, which will bring together hundreds of attendees for a night of celebration, all while raising funds to launch a comprehensive breast health program at UF Health Spanish Plains Hospital, dedicated to providing exceptional care, support, and resources for individuals facing breast health challenges. This year, we expect more than 250 guests, many of whom are local leaders, influencers, and community supporters who are passionate about making a positive impact. Feel the breeze and enjoy the theme Ticket to Paradise while we whisk our guests away on a tropical adventure filled with island-inspired cuisine, vibrant entertainment by the Bluestone Circle, and a range of exciting auction opportunities. If you want to go, contact Kathy Reardon. She is the Foundation Engagement Specialist. Her number is 751-8872 to get your tickets to this grand event. Finally, we will be participating in the Gainesville Chamber Racing Experience February 11th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Gainesville Raceway. We've been doing this for many, many years. We love going to this event. It's a great event over at the Gator Nationals Raceway, and it is $25 for non-members, and it's free if you're a member of the chamber. So, in conclusion, we're always doing ticket giveaways on our Meldon Law Facebook page. Just go to Meldon Law Facebook, and you can arrange for any type of giveaways, for applying for any type of giveaways to our sporting events. I am done. I have spoken way too much today, and I am ready to conclude this week's episode of Meldon Law and Friends. We really appreciate the audience out there listening to this podcast, and I want to thank again Jonny Bellotte for coming in and talking about Fat Guys Burgers and Fries, located in Lake City, open 7 days a week. Check it out. You can order it either through Grubhub, Uber Eats, or you can go in and grab some great burgers, all handmade, and hand-cut fries in multiple different flavors. So, Jonny, thank you again for showing up. Thank you, audience, again for listening to our episode of Meldon Law and Friends. And so we'll be ending this week, and we'll see you next week at Meldon Law and Friends.